All right, Raafaa, Chime, got an idea? Tambourine, a little bit of tambourine in the band, huh?
Sorry, Clayton.
How about the bongos, huh? A little bit of Donkey Kong action in there. I played a lot when I was a little kid. Okay, cowbell, cowbell.
Already taken.
Okay, what about the recorder? How about the recorder? Everybody could use a
Oh, excuse me, Flowers. Sorry, Lucas.
These kids have no idea what they're talking about. You don't call yourself a rock star. I used to be in a band. I was a star. I rocked. But did I call myself a rock star? No, it's tacky. Guys! You can't have a band in the office.
I think there's something in my ear. There's something. Oh!
I can't find my drumsticks.
Oh,
Have you seen-
I think they're on the ground.
They're right. Oh! And he's got a friend. You're so cringe, man.
Yeah, you're narc.
Bye, Jen.
Off, no fun, police! We own this!
This is for you, Dad!
Oh, wait, no. I don't think we can do that on camera, Raz. Calm down. Well, you know what they say, you can't take the Chime out of the band, but you can't take the band out of Chime. Or, you know what, I messed that up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We got Chime on the casting desk. We moved him over to the LCS Lounge because we just wanted a little bit more of your insight, a little close to home. And I know that you playing in Academy last spring, now going into your first official full year starting LCS, I mean, you've known not only Busio during his debut in 100 Thieves Academy, but also playing alongside Stixxay when he came back during the spring.
Yeah. I mean, 2 splits with Stixxay. I think I have a pretty good read on his kind of playstyle, and then also Busio and I have been, kind of going around the same trajectory. So yeah, it's good to see that they're both making like a lot of progress. I think Busio specifically has really stepped up the split.
What was your take on the last game, just overall? What do you think Golden Guardians need to do to bring this one back?
I think ban Zillion.
All right, number 1, ban Zillion. Number 2, ban Zillion.
Ban Zillion again.
Yeah,
for
makes sense
good
to me.
measure. And the third time. Why not?
Okay, there we go. Why not? Makes sense.
I just think it requires you to play so differently. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Felt like that last game, Golden Guardians had the chance to play through sides. They were giving quite a bit of love towards Licorice on the top side with the early gank. And Licorice was doing quite well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But past that, it was just team fighting into pretty hard comp to kill Doublelift in.
Yeah. Oh, but now they're taking the first look Wukong.
True. It's funny because between both these teams, neither team are really flexible teams. They don't have a flex pick that they can play through. I think 100 Thieves is a little different. They have the Gragas. At times, I think they kind of shied away from that. But the Wukong seems to be a constant. Same with the FlyQuest series, the Wukong was something that they went towards a lot. Seems like Golden Guardians is also taking that strategy. Hey, just like you talking with Spooks, copying some notes.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the Jinx is obviously an important thing that they want to take away, but I think covering the Raafaa is important because they want to threaten by Raafaa. I think it's a really good combo and something that they're saying like, hey, we're willing to play this if you take the Thresh.
Ooh. Now, it's not locked in yet, but if Golden Guardians wanted to change up how they wanted to attack 100 Thieves, maybe going with something that doesn't necessarily, you know what, this is why you don't get baited by champion hovers, because you never know what it's going to be. But if they wanted to go for a little bit more landing power, we eventually got there. This is a different approach to try and shut down 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, Stixxay is a really good Lucian, and the way they piloted it together, I think is very impressive. I just think, yeah, I mean, I think this is a good answer for him, and a lot of it's going in the back of Stixxay. And he had a good game 1, for sure, so I mean, it's up to him, honestly, playing a draft like this.
There it is. Earlier on in the day, something that you mentioned that reigns true here is that if you're going up against 100 Thieves, it's not going to be a 2v2. It's going to be a 2v3 with the closer there.
Yeah.
If you make it a 3v, it's going to be a 3v3 if you bring your own jungler. So it seems like Golden Guardians trying to play towards bot side a little bit more. I'm not a fan if they're just trying to play towards top side with a Lucian Nami bot, but that's never been Golden Guardians' moniker. They play towards mid and bot lane, so I think that's going to be the case here. Wonder what the response is going to be from 100 Thieves.
The other thing, too, is 100 Thieves, upon seeing Lucian and Nami, instead of just going for the Thresh like they did in Game 1, Busio's now going for Nautilus. For you, what do you think is like kind of the thought process for Busio changing up the support pick and reaction?
I think the plan was to go Jinx Thresh, but then yeah, if they go Lucian Nami, Nautilus is one of the few supports that can keep up to Lucian. Same with Nautilus is one of the few supports that can keep up to Zeri. So I think because of that, it is a good idea, and you have 2 point-and-click buttons to just shut down that Lucian. I think he's going to have a really hard time in team fights, figuring out how to avoid Vialt and Nautilus ult at the same time. You're eventually going to get knocked up.
Looking at 100 Thieves side, they still have to pick both top lane and mid. That goes for Golden Guardians as well, but they have 4 pick here. Zillion's up, but still looks like 100 that Golden Guardians probably going to take it out right now. For 100 Thieves side, Sion still up and available, especially if they want to play front to back. That could be something they go for. Talia is the ban here for Golden Guardians, so 100 Thieves want to do it again, they can.
They're about to get Zillions. I can feel it.
And they can hold it to 5.
Chime is already announcing the end for Golden Guardians. The Zillion is on the way.
But I like the Sion pick for 100 Thieves, something that I expected. It's a solid blind pick for 100 here. And now they give the flexibility for Bjergsen to do what he wants. Oh, Licorice pulled this out one last time.
And we talked about this earlier. If you go for something like a Zillion, it's not necessarily consistent magic damage in the late game. Like, you gotta get a bunch of bursts, but against something like a Malphite, I mean, that is something that maybe Golden Guardians might think about, but they're gonna stick with the Sylas for now, at least a blind pick going into Bjergsen.
I like the Sylas pick here for Golden Guardians. A playmaker there for Gori. Has the Vi ultimate as an access, the Nautilus as well, so you got to see quite a bit. He's one of the few great Sylas players in the LCS alongside Palafox, so it's nice to see. And they honestly, it gives them an opportunity to look for a gank through mid lane with Sylas Wukong. So now for Bjergsen, gonna have to be a little bit concerned about, sure, whatever champion he picks, I'm interested, but just any gank angles that River goes for.
And I think it also blocks the Zillion a little bit. I mean, he might pick it anyways, but you don't want to give Sylas Zillion ult, right?
Oh, that's true.
So I think that's kind of the idea going into it. And yeah, I think he wants to opt away with it because you don't want to give the other team Zillion ult too. It's just so broken.
We got a Viktor pick instead. So 100 Thieves still going front to back with the Viktor. It's going to be a little bit of a longer game, but I like 100 Thieves draft. Once again, it goes back to what is comfortable for them. The only thing that they don't have in comparison to game 1 is just an extra bit of protection, right? So you don't have the Thresh or anything like that to help you out. So Doublelift just has to be a little bit more aware of his positioning.
Right. The exchange is that now Bjergsen is a potent carry for himself in the later stages of the game. So even if Doublelift gets taken out, you still have this Viktor that can still put out death lasers, put out a chaos storm. So now 100 Thieves can split power budget in towards the late game.
Yeah, and I think also one thing to point out is that 100 Thieves did draft mid and bot prio.
Yep.
So the thing to consider is either they might try and play for a dive on this Lucian or just invade the Wukong and do what they did to the Cuz in KT-T1.
It's a lot easier to do with a Nautilus versus a Thresh as well. Point and click, but we're going to get ready on the Rift for Game 2 between 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians.
I'm interested in this one, knowing that Licorice being picking up the Gwen, something that I was interested in because we didn't get to mention it. Now they can play 1-3-1, something that you wanted from Golden Guardians in the first game.
Yeah.
Now they have Sylas, Gwen, they can play through sides. It's gonna be hard for Sion in general to deal with that pick. Actually, Gwen is a champion that I've been interested a lot in the playoffs because it's been getting banned a lot. Teams have actually been moving away from picking Sion early, and I think a lot of it comes through the threat of that pick. So I want to see what Licorice can do early on with this draft if River actually goes top once again to get him ahead and make Tenacity's life a little bit harder.
Yeah. I think also if Gwen gets ahead, it's going to be really scary because she can just shred through this Sion and everyone is out of range, right? Like Viktor can't hit her through her W, same can Jinx. So I think she will be like a problem this game if she gets ahead.
So you mentioned during the draft that because 100 Thieves have drafted both bot and mid prio and they could set up for a dive on Lucian in the, I think by the third wave on that cannon, what do Golden Guardians need to do to try and prevent that from happening?
Well, I think they've had some really creative and really good strategies to force prio when they haven't been able to. One notably would be that they brought Gori at about a 1 minute timer to force like a bot 3v3 before the minions even like met. And I think because of that, I mean, Wukong is sitting here, and I think they're trying to annoy or cheese Nautilus or Jinx from getting into that bush, but it looks like they're not really going to fall for it. So they're going to just end up going to lane normal.
All right, I do believe that we have Jat on the sideline with Coach Nukeduck from 100 Thieves.
Thanks, Raafaa. I'm joined here by Nukeduck. You're up 1-0 in the series. How did the Game 2 draft feel to you?
It felt better than the first one. I think the first one I let the players in a hard situation. But this one is better, I think, though, like still like very like volatile. If you go, it's hard to play.
Yeah, we had the Golden Guardians coach on in Game 1, and he said that it was, quote, easier to prepare against 100 Thieves because other teams, you have 20 scenarios, 100 Thieves, he said, we know exactly what they're doing. How true do you think that is, or even how important do you think that is?
Truth is yes, it's very truthful, but, you know, just because, you know, the enemy team is like willing to like lock in, for example, Nami Lucian, and lose, it doesn't mean that they're better, you know. It's just they're just willing to play champions they will lose with, or like champions they aren't good with. You know, we're just playing like what we can win with. You know.
All right, really quickly, what needs to happen in this early game for 100 Thieves to take the win?
You know, I guess closer ganks bot and get some kills. I don't know, something like that. That will work out.
All right, fair enough. Thank you very much, Nuke Duck. Let's send it back to the casters.
Closer gank bot and get kills for Doublelift. Does that sound like a good plan to you, Chime?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Closer's plan generally, and I think it's a good plan. He does it well, so... I mean, it's River's plan a lot of the time, too, to be fair, and here he is.
This time around, I mean, he's getting pushed out here. Thinking probably that he's going to meet Closer, but Closer's been pathing top, so... likely not going to happen, and River just wasting a bit of time.
Yeah. I am kind of surprised that Lucian Nami did force the prow here. I was a little bit distracted by the interview, so I missed I missed what went on there. But, I mean, Lucian Nami got prow.
Yeah. It's going to be a little tough here for River. So the fact that, you know, look bot didn't happen, as you mentioned, got prior, so there's not much of an opportunity. Might be looking for a dive. I think it's really hard.
I don't really... I mean, if they're going to willing to trade 1-for-1, this could work.
All right, let's see what we get here. River showing himself.
I imagine that one of the range people have to take it. Huhi is taking the turret. One more turret shot, then he has the bail. They get first blood onto Doublelift. And it looks like the dive is successful for Golden Guardians as they're going to go one more into Busio. I think that dive's clean.
I shouldn't have questioned it.
That is brutal.
Quick and easy dive. Well executed to get both of them and losing multiple waves now. Really tough for Doublelift and Busio. Close is going to be getting top lane camps for that one, but that has to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, the dive was executed really well. I mean, Nami was saying that she's willing to die because if they flash on her while she's tanking, they can trade 1-for-1, but they really don't care if Nami dies and 2 people die and Jinx missed that wave.
And they burned both summoner spells on Doublelift as well, so the way that they were trying to play it, they tried to play to survive rather than to trade 1-for-1. I wonder if 100 Thieves were just caught off guard by them willingly to force this play in the first place.
Looking at this dive now, want to see the execution that you're talking about with if they wanted to go on towards the Nami.
Yeah. I mean, because they are hitting, whereas Jinx still wasted an auto while they could have hit the Nami. I think she does have the heal, so it is hard, but I do think if they really want to trade 1-for-1, they always can.
Yeah.
They really just didn't expect this damage, to be honest.
100% didn't. The fact that seemed like the pathing from Closer was red, bot side, path top, thought the bot lane overall was going to be safe. It wasn't the case there, so once again, Golden Guardians starting off with a lead in game 2.
Yeah, the big investment as... Hold up now, Licorice popping the Ghost. Does he have an angle on to Tenacity? He doesn't have the ulti, he's only level 5, but Tenacity is not going to blow the flash because he knows he is okay. He can walk out.
That was tough. That slow from Tenacity did a lot. It was a little bit, but he's going to TP back, so he should still be fine. Now we get to see Vi covering both junglers in the area.
This is what happens when you dive bot, is that now you're going to build a big wave back, and this is what actually happened in our game versus 100 Thieves, where you just end up stacking waves back and forth, and you want to dive, then they want to dive, then you want to dive. So I think GG not going to go on this timer is really important, and good of Wukong to cover him.
Yeah, I was wondering to see if that wave is going to be large enough to look for a early dragon. Not going to be the case. Busio,
He's chilling.
he's fine.
He's fine or not. He's able to just grab onto the nearby wall and pull himself to safety. But with this prio now that Golden Guardians have, they have summoner advantage, marksman to marksman, Stixxay to double lift. You can already see that prio now being reflected in the early dragon stacking for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really annoying because Jinx without dragons is not ideal. I think Jinx, the benefit of Jinx is that she can always just rocket the wave and force prow, right? And with Thresh also being like the best support with her, you always force it because Thresh is really easily like a champ that always gets prow or gets prow in most matchups. Yeah. So I think, yeah, losing this is going to be something that 100 Thieves probably isn't used to.
Yeah. And my fear now is that you are now going to be in constant threat of another dive. If Sylas going to be getting prio through mid, if he does get an angle, River could also just help him do that, so that's not even a concern. And even if you see that dive from a mile away, what are you going to do? You're just going to lose more and more waves. They're already pretty behind from that dive already, as you can see, 57 to 41. So it's going to be tough this point forward for for 100 Thieves. So I'm interested to see if there is another angle that they can take, but not much they can do through mid lane.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if Sylas does roam bot, Viktor can hit those plates, and in comms, you're hearing Bjergsen saying, hey, I'm getting mid plate. you know, and that's your dopamine. That's what you latch on
That's
to.
true.
That's the cope right there. It's like, and that's why 100 Thieves wanted to split the power budget on that R5 pick, right? They were suspecting, hey, they are going to target this bot lane in the early stages of the game. It might not be in our best interest to now go for another utility pick to support that pick even further. Now having the threat power budget split between 2 lanes. Yes, Doublelift is not feeling the love right now, but at least Bjergsen is still doing just fine.
And this is interesting from 100 Thieves. So they're actually swapping early for A, to get bot lane in a better position, and also to be able to fight for Rift Herald once again. And if Tenacity is able to deal with this, then this should be actually a nice way for 100 Thieves to trade sides.
Yeah, I think this is always good for the Sion side, because Sion can easily 1v2 a bot lane, whereas Gwen wants to get resources, so she's not going to die, but she wants to be able to pressure and like extend her lead versus Sion. If they're just going to go 50-50, Sion's going to be more useful.
Yeah, this is really similar to what Evil Geniuses were doing in Spring 2022 last year, where they realized that, hey, we need to get our AD carry through the laning phase at this point in the game and get them accelerated with gold. Lane swap them right now to dodge that Lucian Nami lane.
Yeah.
The only problem here is that Golden Guardians is fully rotating. So their bot lane going through bot to top, and Sylas is actually playing through mid here too. So they're willing to sack the bot wave completely to take this fight. So good contrast between game 1, where they had the advantage and actually got Herald taken away from them because they wanted to keep AD carry bot lane. This time around, they're like, screw that. We want the Rift Herald. We don't want to lose this and to be constantly defending when we have a lead.
A little bit of a fight in the mid lane, but Bjergsen's keeping it cool, not burning the flash because he had the gravity zone to keep Gori in place. But already, massive rotations and a lot more map movement from Golden Guardians, as you already hit on, Raz, to kind of adapt from game 1.
Yeah. Now we're in a slower stage of the game. I got a question for you. Actually, a quiz for you, Chime.
Okay.
Who do you think a support has the highest jungle proximity with their jungler right now in the LCS through the regular season?
I'd say huhi, because I know he has the lowest bot proximity, so I think...
So number 1 is you. Well, yeah, number 2 is huhi.
You and Boogie are best buds, man.
It's actually quite funny because, like, I know that you guys work within the same system. We'll get to that later as the gank is happening.
They're laying the pain down on a huhi. The flash away is not going to do anything when the rocket is still dead on his head. And now Busio and Doublelift are cutting back Stixxay. River's in the wings, but Doublelift and Busio are able to walk away while Stixxay is now sub 50% HP.
Yeah, a nice quick timer from 100 Thieves to be able to get a gank, but not stick around too long, knowing that Sylas is making a rotation there. So get in and out. And so they're able to chip a little bit at the gold lead there for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart play by them, because they did end up giving the Herald, so they were first to bot. And because of that, they have a good setup where Lucian Nami did the long walk all the way up to Herald, did the long walk all the way back down to bot lane. And because of that, 100 Thieves got into a good position to get a pick play on the Nami.
And I think that's something that's really notable about Closer as a player. One of the things that he loves talking about, or is really known for, especially when 100 Thieves are doing well, is he'll see these small windows and he says, guys, we have to take this fight now or never. And usually the confidence that he says those comms with usually gets the rest of the team going. That's why in like the mid split they were slumping, because Closer and the rest of the team wasn't always on the same page. But when they're doing well and they're always on the same page, you can find those small picks.
Yeah, gives me that MLXG vibe, honestly. The fact that he's able to be so efficient with ganks, bit of a firecracker. Being said, 100 Thieves looking for a pick towards Licorice, and Licorice doing a good job backing away from that. But love the fact that 100 Thieves, even when behind, still looking for angles. I thought it was going to be difficult because usually when you're in this position through the bot lane, you're like, okay, let's try for a pick. Mid, oh, we have a Viktor. Oh, let's try for a pick. Oh, we have a Sion top lane. You really don't have any other angles, but they're still gaining them.
Yeah. I do think, though, they still have a lot of ground to recover to, close this gold lead.
Yes.
Lucian. Oh, Stixxay on the Lucian and huhi here. Trying to see if they face check. huhi is the one that's going to have to bite the dust here, but the re-engage from River, Cyclone on 3, and they're burning down the backline, and Stixxay gets to open them up. Double for River, 3 kills for Golden Guardians.
A disaster for 100 Thieves. Golden Guardians got hit one time bot lane, not going to happen again. River found the angle, knew that he needs to cover for Stixxay, and huhi was there just in time.
I mean, they're saying, guys, can we remake? Like, this is brutal, because they were setting up a pick play, right? They really need to get this, like, shut down their momentum, anything, and like, they just get counter ganked so well here.
I mean, see the setup right here. They invested so much time into waiting for this play to happen, but the fact that it was read by Golden Guardians is the disastrous result.
Yeah, and they're eating good. I mean, they're getting, what, full top tower right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It's gone, and they're probably going to usher that Rift Herald into the second turret, but just taking a look at that replay, I love the fact that moment huhi felt confident, knowing that he had River in the bush.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, they got this time. Then he stepped into the bush just to allow the fight to start. Great cleanup from Golden
He
Guard.
said if they really want to kill me, they can, and they'll die 2 back, right?
Exactly.
For 100 Thieves, they find a window to get the second Dragon of the game, so Golden Guardians don't immediately put the pressure on 100 Thieves in terms of Dragon Soul condition. It is a Hextech one, and that's where things can always get interesting in terms of map movements with portals.
Oh yeah. I actually, it's so entertaining how many wards you can get on these maps too, because it's so easy to have a quick shift, and where like Nami just goes through, takes both portals, dumps her wards, bases, and vice versa for Nautilus. So I do think the map is going to be lit up a little bit more, but also everyone can move faster. So.
Oh my god, I've never thought of that. Just the idea of being like, all right, I already got my first set of wards.
Yeah.
Let's head on back. Because tempo, at least in the playoff series, are such a big part of the game.
Yeah.
Whoever gets first touch on Dragon or something like that. I know Dragon's going to be in another 4 minutes from now, but you're right. Hex is just entertaining. That's one aspect. Another one is just like, it feels like you're always going to be in threat of a flank. That portal you see right now in blue side jungle has always kind of been, oh, that's my way of getting into a fight around Dragon. So
I do think it's a little bit of, oh, just kidding.
It's okay, sometimes you'll see them inching closer. It's like, I'm gonna dive you, JK.
Yeah. And now as a player, I can like appreciate when casters get frustrated when we don't commit, because we're kind of, you know, teaching you to like start doing like the play-by-play.
yeah, the dance a
Yeah.
bit.
What are the comms like when you're like thinking about the dive?
I mean, it varies in a lot of situations, but generally you're just saying like, okay, does top have TP? Does mid have TP? If they TP, what do we do? You know, we just bait mid TP, we leave, something like that.
Viktor actually had to get pushed off for this entire wave, so Golden Guardian's doing a good job just playing towards Gori, which is nice actually, because even though Dragon is 3 minutes away from now, it just means that allows him to push in, take this. Oh, well, okay. Waiting till the next wave so he can take that turret. Then he has an option to push out bot lane wave when Dragon's coming up and take a flank angle, so like now it gives him better positioning, so I actually quite like that.
Yeah, I agree. I'd be a happy Sylas right now.
There it is.
I mean, he is 5.4k gold. He's not the richest man on his team. That would be River and Stixxay, respectively, but most of their team has 1 item power spikes. Even the Imperial Mandate, I know we often joke about like first item power spikes for most supports is not that important, but for Lucian Nami especially, that's...
Oh yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, honestly, like, it's good to give Nami the first 2 kills to just get that in time. I mean, you used to even just go, what, Cosmic Insight, free boots, sell the boots before it got nerfed, and then just anything to get Mandate.
That's the propaganda you always tell your 8 carries. Like, hey, I should take these 2 kills because it's going to help you better in the long run.
I'm giving you damage.
Question that I actually had towards you, this kind of related to the point about you, huhi, playing on the same team much earlier, and also just a lot of times linking up with the jungler quite a lot. A, where did you get that from as a player? Because that's something that it seems like you prioritize pretty heavily. And what do you expect to see from huhi, like for the rest of the game? Because he's on Nami. It's not going to be as easy. You're extra fragile in that sense, but like, where did you get that from as a player? What do you expect huhi to do?
I do think the GG coaching staff do a good job of putting that in your brain, but then Chowie also reinforced it and gave me options on like what you don't have to always do together. So for example, it's just so good to base always together whenever you're like in the mid game of support jungle, you know, hey, how's that Gromp going? You know, like, are you done soon? Can I base with you? Stuff like that. And then you just together you can run around the map. So,
That almost sounds like, hey, Dad, are you done?
yeah.
Can we go home now?
My AD carry is just hitting minions. I want to do something else.
I'm bored.
I can help you with Raptors.
Yeah.
If it makes it faster.
I know Ole really advocated on that, actually. When I was playing in Academy and I was watching him, he said that, honestly, if you have downtime, just help your jungler like clear faster. You're waiting for him anyway.
Yeah.
True. I always appreciate it as well. For Golden Guardians using the Rift Trail that they took because they have complete control of the map and 100 Thieves are just playing safe for now while being down 6,000 gold, this gives Golden Guardians the opportunity to send the Rift Herald into 2 towers. Doesn't take out the second tier turret quite yet, but it now makes it even more terrifying for 100 Thieves to take a losing fight because the damages could be irreversible.
Yeah, I know we're setting up for the dragon fight. 50 seconds away from that. Licorice, though, could be the target.
It's all about finding these small picks and timings. Closer decides now's not the time, 45 seconds before the next dragon.
Yeah, and you do not want to test a Gwen with your Vi ultimate. The fact that I remember it was like week 7, week 6 that we see Vi ultimate fizzle to Gwen W and just completely go on cooldown. I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to have this for the next fight.
Depression.
That's a sad interaction.
Yep.
But speaking about that, Dragon that I'm sure Golden Guardian is going to be focusing on. 100 Thieves are going to be trading for a reason. With both mid and bot lane waves completely pushed in, it's just so hard for them to really even check on where Gori is going to be if they were to take a fight. Same with Licorice if he ends up joining. So I think it's smart for them to play for top lane, but seems like they're not getting any angles.
Tenacity is forced to use the Unstoppable Onslaught so that he doesn't get completely taken out by Golden Guardian's bot lane and mid lane, but because of the power shift of Stixxay and huhi in the mid lane controlling it. But now 100 Thieves find a window onto Licorice where no one was protecting him, and 100 Thieves are going to be able to find at least a kill.
That was a nice pick by them. Honestly, I do think like GG recognized it too. Like River was covering the top dive on the timer before the dragon. They were like, we'll wait for them, we'll block this. And then they're like, okay, you know, you're safe, let's go to the dragon. And they're still waiting, they're just hanging out.
Yep. Try again.
Yeah.
Finally succeed. And honestly, Licorice is going to be kicking himself for that one because they've been using that bush throughout the entire game. And as you mentioned, recognize that's going to be the case. They don't see them at all on the bot side of the map with how well they warded the blue side jungle. So like they were pretty confident. They weren't going to look for anything around the dragon. So the fact that he ended up getting caught like that stinks.
Yeah. I mean, for Golden Guardians, when we were kind of asking before the series, what kind of Golden Guardians are we going to get today? Are we going to get the team that had a huge win streak during the middle of the split that was beating a majority of the teams? Or are we going to get the team that slumped and, you know, lost games that they shouldn't have lost in the last couple of weeks of the regular split? So far, this is looking like the middle of the split Golden Guardians, where they are starving out 100 Thieves. They're not necessarily taking a lot of fights, but the fights that they did take were so commanding and so destroying to overall momentum that 100 Thieves, the only thing they're forced to do is not contest fights and just hope for picks.
Yeah, and I think they have really good map movements too. I mean, even when they make mistakes and someone gets caught, they're just keep doing the same thing until it works, and it's working consistently.
Take a look at the mini-map too. So they know that they're playing towards topside. Bjergsen actually.
I mean, he flashes, but I don't think he's going to get out of that one. Bjergsen now down to Summoner Spell and still goes down. Golden Guardians continuing this lead.
Yeah, I didn't expect the pick to happen, so Bjergsen dying there, tragic. But I was actually focusing on the fact that Licorice, who died on the opposite side of the map last time around, recognized that, okay, 100 Thieves are just going to try and make a play on me this time around. I'm just going to go mid.
Yeah.
So that was just a really smart adaptation. And while all that was happening, not even necessary because they find a kill top lane. So Golden Guardians are living sky high, 7K goal lead right now.
And that's why Gori is first all-pro. I mean, that's not the best case by case. You're winning a game and you get a solo kill.
Yeah.
But they push their advantages when they can. And so like he doesn't need the team holding his hand to get that kill. He just knows, hey, this is my strong side. I'm strong right now. Let's push my advantage.
And just leaves a little room for 100 Thieves to breathe when Golden Guardians are at their best. And then this is what a majority of the teams felt against Golden Guardians. I know, I don't mean to, you know, rub salt in the wound, but there's one match on the backhand of the split where Golden Guardians, they got one fight off against you guys in Dragon, and it seemed like you guys couldn't do anything against them.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I blocked that in my head. Can you remind me?
My bad.
Don't want to relive that.
I don't want to think about losing to Golden Guardians. It hurts me a little bit. It's my former team, you know? So it's like, yeah.
I'm going to put you in an even tougher position. Position yourself on the side of 100 Thieves. Obviously, things aren't working out right now, but how do you find a way back into this game? I know it's a tough ask, but they were trying to find anything on side lane, hasn't been working. If you're in a position of Busio, what do you do?
I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty unfortunate that they have Hextech Soul because I think that soul is like one of the strongest in the game, if not the strongest. And because of that, you can't really wait because I think you'd want to wait for Jinx 3 core. And then with Jinx 3 core, you just click your Vial and your Nautilus ult on either Lucian or Sylas if he gets too far out. But you just need to like destroy someone, Jinx gets a reset, and they have 2 buttons to like lock someone down to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have time to wait for Jinx IE, which is kind of unfortunate.
All right. 100 Thieves in that bush, just seeing, honestly, if they can make a catch on Golden Guardians stepping too far ahead as defensive forward. Oh, but they're just going to go straight forward.
Yep. I mean, what can 100 Thieves do? They have to walk through Fog of War where they don't know if there is a Wukong and a Gwen and a Sylas waiting for them, that they make the brave attempt to now check. They put a control ward down onto the Baron Pit, and it's 5,000 HP. Golden Guardians, do they still want to take this flip, or do they want to just engage with the wall? And they go over the wall! Cyclone into Tidal Wave, locks them all up! Gori on the right side of the flank! 100 Thieves are destroyed by the Golden Guardians!
I was focusing so much on the 4 that were in the pit, I didn't even see Gori come in at an angle. That was huge to just blow up all members of 100 Thieves.
And that's the dream Baron situation. Like, I love as a team when you're just like, we're going to start Baron, make them come to us, and just play the fight. Just go over, everyone go over, no matter what, how you can do it. Just kill them, and they got close to them, and they just took a team fight and won. They're so sorry.
Game 1 adaptations shining through for the Golden Guardians, just like their armor, as they show when they are in sync and they are in command of the game, this is the result that you get.
Yeah. 100 Thieves being pulled in. All eyes are on Gori and how he plays this one because I love the engage. Oh! Okay. Just making sure. I love the engage from Wukong to start the fight. Pulling a lot of attention in general. They don't want to make it a 50. It ain't gonna happen. No 50-50s here. But Gori coming in from a flank. Wanted to see how he ended up playing. I think he stole Jinx Rocket. But overall, that was just way too much AoE. No way out there for 100 Thieves. So, lights out, 10k gold lead. Let's see how big this one goes.
So now, Chime, is this the point where I know you already jokingly said, all right, guys, can we remake? But surely at this point, are you guys talking about the next draft at this point, or?
I mean, right now you're talking about, hey, are they gonna, slam into us in 2 lanes or 3 lanes? Obviously, I think if you're Golden Guardians, you just play 2 lanes and you just don't care about top. And I think you can just dive them no matter what. But it does look like they're gonna play for 3 lanes and go for the more guaranteed, which is fair after you lose game 1 in an important series like this. Because I do think they have so many options to win this game. It's just pick the same one and do it together.
Sure.
Yeah. You can see Bjergsen, Closer, and Doublelift making the decision in Fog, seeing if they take the fight now or make that move towards Gwen. They're just not able to get it. Golden Guardians are playing a really smart game, playing back and just letting Licorice do the job for them.
It's crazy what a Baron-empowered scissors can do to a giant metal structure. Turret 1 will fall, and now the rest of Golden Guardians just continuously playing out the Baron push on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, they don't need to base. Gwen can just park up top side and wait for Bjergsen to leave, and then they already got an inner turret now, and so this is just overall a great strategy from Golden Guardians. Gonna go for Gori though.
They have to force the pick. They know they're 10,000 gold down, so they might as well just all in and throw a Hail Mary. They get Gori. That's a big shutdown for Doublelift, and he's reset and he's excited. But now Golden Guardians, if they can find this pincer movement, they can stop him in his tracks. They don't find a way to get access to him, but they force him away from the bottom side of the map, and the excitement is now down.
Clean engage there, and they want a little bit more, knowing that Sylas is down. Maybe 100 Thieves can eke a little bit more. Dragon is up, so there's a lot on the map right now for 100 Thieves to start picking.
They don't have Vi ult or Jinx ult though, and it is a little bit concerning. If they do, they need to get this dragon and get out. They don't have much time.
100 Thieves are going to take the gamble. They know that you might as well just throw it in and try it. There's not going to be many other opportunities from Golden Guardians. River's slinking around the left side of the wall. They're burning it down as fast as they can. Closer secures it. That's 2 dragons for them. But the rest of Golden Guardians, they find Doublelift in the heart of the battlefield. And the rest of the Golden Guardians now get to rampage through. Bjergsen closes one back against River, and he's on the run, and he might just be able to make it out alive. So really the damage is just 2 members from 100 Thieves. Tenacity is a big tank, but Licorice finds him and snips him down to pieces.
I mean, they did get the dragon.
Hey, that's one win.
Mission accomplished.
They got that.
Yeah.
Wow, they're able to get 3 on that
Silver
one.
lining.
Yeah.
That's a little rough. At least Doublelift and Busio is going to be coming up alive to at least defend the Nexus, but it's a lot going to be going down for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing what? Near triple inhib? Or at least triple towers, I mean. I mean, the map is just going to be so wide open. I think they have to use its on TP flank on the next timer to be able to get something here.
Yeah, and rewinding, just thinking about how they ended up getting the pick on Gori. Thought that was smart from 100 Thieves, obviously. Able to defend themselves, so there wasn't an engage that came out afterwards. The Nami ult went wide, and also the W from Viktor just stopping any entrance from Wukong to even get them. So I thought that was really clean. And so that's what we're kind of looking for consistently and hoping for another mess up like that. But as you mentioned, I thought Golden Guardians was actually playing it really safely outside of that. Outside that one mistake, Licorice was doing a great job pushing out top lane, getting top lane outer turret. And I thought that the 4 on the bot side of the map, well, I guess 3, were doing a great job of being able to push when they were needed, and then back away when 100 Thieves were pushing up for a fight. So if they can continue to do that, that's going to be great.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, they let Gwen get the full top tower, or they just hung out around bot tier 2.
Yeah.
As Golden Guardians are making potentially the last moves, 100 Thieves find a flank onto River, but he just blocks it out with the stasis. He's going to get knocked up. That's 1 pick off for 100 Thieves, but it gets immediately traded back on to Closer, and now it's a 4-on-4. The rest of Golden Guardians pushing 100 Thieves. They find Busio, could not escape, as it is Stixxay that fires the guns into the back of Busio.
That's gonna be hard now. That has to be triple inhib, and if Golden Guardians are feeling lucky, they can just go for the end here. Both their engage in Vi and Nautilus are down, so there's not much 100 Thieves can do.
Inhibitor on the bottom side will fall. Triple inhibitors are now gone. Golden Guardians, doesn't seem like they're going to continue the push, but they've done the damage that they needed to do to 100 Thieves. And with Baron coming up in a minute, it's time to reset and get ready for the last objective.
Smart call, because if they make a mistake, that's Baron. Would hate to see another catastrophe happen in one day. I peeped the XL game earlier on, so that one was one problem. We don't want another one, especially in a playoff series. So overall, Golden Guardians don't want to make too many mistakes. So good call. Get the picks, got 2. Back away, and now they're going to be fighting for Baron.
Yeah, and they'll also come back with, some extra minions. And that's going to be really annoying. So they just need to wait out their waves and then just play in the waves. I mean, 100 Thieves needs to get a pick before they set up all 3 lanes. Or else I just think you can't win a team fight versus double super minion. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, they got me.
That's going to be tough.
I feel like as 100 Thieves, unless you're closer, everyone else is just perma in their base, just on wave clear duty. You don't get to leave. And with all the vision control that Golden Guardians have set up, it is just so dangerous to even walk forward. So this Baron just feels all but guaranteed. And we're already looking at game 2 if Golden Guardians close this out.
Yeah. And there's a lot happening here. Nice try. Be able to steal that one. Get any idea, just if he was able to just roll of the dice, some luck. I'm interested to see what the analyst does. I know they were stepping on some hats.
You mean the LCS Lounge?
No, true. But I'm not a part of it, so actually, not today anyway.
If it's not me on there, then it's still the analyst desk.
Exactly.
But if it's there, then I bring the Raz vibes and it's the lounge.
It's the lounge. Anyways, yes. Want to see if they dust off some of the dirt on those hats and wear it again.
Well, here we go. 100 Thieves now forced to defend against not only double super minions, but Baron empowered double super minions.
Oh,
Every single
God.
lane, and Busio almost gets taken out completely. Forced the flash. Tidal wave through the front door. Tenacity blocks all that he can, but he can't hold anymore. Golden Guardians on the front doorsteps of taking this series back in their own hands. Doublelift is trying to fire back. He's finding rockets, but the rest of Golden Guardians take down the Nexus and win game 2.
I mean, yeah, that was nice. I mean, 100 Thieves didn't really draw lines, and their line was ended up being in their base. I mean, no one died, but they lost the game.
Yeah, and you have to think, if you're 100 Thieves, looking back on that first dive bot lane, they felt confident that it was not going to happen.
Yeah.
That River was going to be down in a quadrant of the jungle because, hey, I'm pathing back topside. Bot lane is safe, so you can't get a gank. They felt confident that nothing was going to happen. And then suddenly Wukong's on their heads.
Yeah.
So,
And reading that top play too, I think was really smart because I think that really sealed the deal for them when they
Yes.
bet that they were going to cheese them top because they got
true.
a few picks back into the game. But I think after that happened, it was really tough.
a lot more solid of a game for Golden Guardians there.
Yeah, the adaptation really shined through, as we already noted earlier on in the game, where they bounce back and say, you know what, we're not going to go for scaling. Trevor, it's time to put on the Lucian carry pants, man. We're going to give you the resources. We're going to give you the keys to the city, and you just got to open up and let it rain down pain on 100 Thieves. And River and huhi playing to enable them. I mean, you being one of those supports that played alongside Stixxay in the spring, you can see how much he has changed and how much of that confidence has resurged in his own play.
Yeah, that's what they call a big Trev game out of them. All the Australian coaches will say Big Trev when it comes back.
Big Trev.
Yeah.
Big Trev. A lot of it. It was great to see like that resurgence in his career, and the fact that they, as you said, putting the keys in his hand, the keys to the city, and now that's something and a little extra for 100 Thieves to be a little worried about going into the next draft. So I'm interested to see what the rebuttal will be.
That's right. Well, while we're getting ready for Game 3, want to let you all know at home that during 2023 Spring Split, you can use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store until April 9th, and save your card on file to be entered for a chance to win a trip to League of Legends Worlds 2023 later this year, or a set of 8 Player of the Week statues and a MasterCard prepaid card. But for now, we're going to head over to the LCS Lounge to break down game numero dos.
Love statues.
The statues. World Tripper statues? I'm taking the statues, baby. All right, Golden Guardians answer back. I dust off my FU hat. Very confident,
Yeah.
never doubted them. 3-2 prediction for a reason. We're going to dig into some highlights from this stomp, honestly. It was really cool to see Golden Guardians bouncing back.
Yeah, and starting off here, this is going to be the bot lane dive where initially River looks for a gank, doesn't see it, and then goes up into Closer's jungle. He's not going to find anything here, so it's actually pretty fortunate that he then doubles back and is able to get off the dive. Yes, thank you, Mark.
I'm doing it.
Right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to end up getting the dive right here. I like the setup for this, and it was cool coming off of just talking to Nuke Duck about like, oh yeah, Closer's gonna come dive bot, and then it's a river gank instead.
I want to pause here because they did actually such a good job taking that turret aggro. You can see it's on huhi, and he got that with a W bounce, which sometimes it's hard to do because you'll be like out of range, and so even though you get the bounce damage, you actually don't get the turret aggro. But he was able to step in range, get the turret aggro, so Stixxay and huhi can actually stay in there, or excuse me, Stixxay and River can stay in there. And if you play this out, you can see just how long he just stays there, tanking turret shots if they finish off double-lift, and then the redive is enabled now, and because the other two members are so healthy.
Yeah, and if you wait 3 seconds, the turret cools down and will no longer be doing the max damage to you, which looks like they did. Otherwise, River would have been 2 shots, so just a really well done dive.
It's really cool to see, too, because Stixxay was someone we highlighted previously as someone they're going to rely on. They went even more early game oriented. His Zeri was good, but they clearly want to have a game plan of accelerating him.
Yeah, but we could even pause here and actually just look at the minimap, because even when Closer's getting these ganks off, the windows are really narrow. Look where Wukong is. Both teams are still on the same page. So this one was like, there was like a 3 or 4 second window for this play to work. If they don't go then, this actually goes backwards.
Which actually cues it up perfectly for the next play if we roll ahead and we'll pause again. It's like they keep trying to kind of jump the play on huhi and blow him up. They do this lane swap really well. And if we pause here, I just want to highlight one, that these have been very good for 100 Thieves, where they actually just prior to this had a wave crashing in through the bot lane here, and then they also had the push up here. So these swaps have been good for 100 Thieves, but they stick around and try and again jump the play on huhi when he face checks.
Yeah, but as we roll it, watch huhi preempt the R. So he actually was able to sneak it in. Otherwise, I think he gets 1 shot, and then it was that like 3 or 4 second thing we talked about. They waited in the bush for too long. It gave River time to follow the play. Even though they didn't actually see Closer in the bush, they sensed that he was there and they just destroyed them.
He did have his sweeper on, so I think he saw the silhouette and started casting it, so when the Nautilus hook hit him, it still came through. Here's just Gori being Gori.
The solo kill that wasn't.
No!
Oh,
it's a solo kill to me. All right.
Doesn't count.
Add it to his count.
Officially
that would make him 12, right? All right, this is interesting.
It's a great fight.
Yeah, they decide to turn on to Closer. We can pause it. I think main thing I want to point out is a lot of times teams get really, really precious about whether they're going to actually turn for the fight or leave Baron open. We've seen a lot of pretty ridiculous Barons already in the LCS and playoffs. This is a really nice turn from GG. They're all on the same page. And as Mark is pointing out, Gori is set up where he can flank around, so we can play it again. I just like that they were all on the same page. River immediately is like, nope, Closer, you're not getting in to steal this. Sick bubble, and then Gori just coming around.
This part was pretty funny, though. Golden Guardians doesn't necessarily have that much Baron damage without Gori.
So yeah, we can speed up, but keep it here, where you just see that they like have this really greedy approach. And at first I was like, Gori, you need to come here. You're gonna screw your team over. But this is why he's the first team All-Pro mid laner, Jet. He calculated it. He calculated it.
Technically, he gets like 1,000 extra gold for himself and can complete the death cap. But it gets a look how close Closer is.
Close. This is so close.
He finished off the turret, but multiple members close to dying, close to Closer getting there in time. Ends up being okay, though.
Yeah, I think the other big thing, just one thing I kind of want to point out in draft is this Sylas pick. It was banned when 100 Thieves seemed to be setting up for the Zillion. In this, GG ended up taking it. I don't know if you want to circle it. He didn't do a ton of damage, but I think the Sylas pick was super crucial to this game as well, and kind of acts as a bridge from prio that you can get from Lucian Nami early into the mid to late.
I'm highlighting these numbers here just because it's insane how dominant this game was. Gold graphs, you know, they're relative. So you're like, oh, I've seen this gold graph before, but the peak of it at 15.5 was insanely high. They were a little slow closing the game out, but it's still sub 30 minutes. To get 15,000 gold advantage is crazy. And then the 11-to-1 shows that like the 100 Thieves scaling, which is what was their kind of worst look in the middle of the season when they were just defaulting to turbo scaling and then getting stomped in these early games. It was a little scary to see that reversion here where, again, it's all this scaling and they just have nothing to do in the early game.
That's why it's so important for them to get early game plays. And we even saw Closer and River were kind of trading off in a lot of these skirmishes to end up making plays on bot side to get Doublelift ahead, right? And it just turned out that Golden Guardians were a lot better this time around in terms of picking those skirmishes and and snowballing their lead.
Yeah, 100 Thieves select blue side. No surprise. I think this is going to be a blue side battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wukong first pick every game.
Yeah, pretty much. And there was one other thing, Mark, that I was told that we have about this game that you need to be able to see.
Is it going to be up here?
Yeah, it's going to be on the big screen.
Let's get it up there then. Let's see what Jad has trolled us with today.
What is the? Oh no!
You need to tell us.
This is a great comparison. I love Animal Crossing New Horizons. Played a lot of it. I don't know which character that is, but
This is the
they
answer
got
to
a
worry
banger
about your
outfit.
sweater that people keep asking about. You got it from Animal Crossing.
From the
Exactly.
Nintendo shop, apparently.
Apparently.
All right, Jet's done with his trolling. What's going to be it for us here? Golden Guardians bouncing back in Game 2. We'll have to see who can take Game 3 up next.
Red Bull gives you wings. Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
We have to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30.
I've already told everyone.
Wait, did you say Verizon for just $30?
It's their best unlimited price ever.
$30? That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's from the most reliable 5G network in America.
For $30 a line, I'm switching now.
Yeah, it's easy. And you get $960 when you switch the whole family.
Wow, I gotta let my buddies know.
We're already here.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.